Okay, once again, welcome to this series. And as I explained in the introduction, we are going to create a complete working ABAP application. So in this project, it's going to combine database design, object-oriented programming, the ALV, the number ranges, and user interaction. So this project, you can package it on your GitHub or on your CV, and it's a perfect practice system to showcase your ABAP skill. And the project is employee leave management system. And what is this system all about? So the employee management system, the employees request leave, the managers approve or they reject it, and the human resource can view the leave report. So let me give you a quick rundown of what the application will be doing. So there will be these modules involve the employee who submit the leave request, and then the manager will view and approve the leave request, and then the employee can also view his personal request history. The manager or the HR department can view all pending requests. So who are those that have applied for leave request? So let's run through an example. The employee has already been created. So there's a program called Create Leave Request. So this program, Create Leave Request. So let's just play this. And then when we execute this code, so the employee ID, say employee ID 001, when is the start date for the leave? So put a date, you can say 06/07/2025. The end date for the leave, we can put 15th of July 2026. So what's the type? We can use F4 help to see the types: the annual leave, sick leave, emergency leave. Yeah, so let's select emergency leave. Confirm this, and then we click on this button right here to execute. So on the screen, you can see leave request created successfully. There's also a request ID. So for every request that's been created, a request ID will be created. So this data, this request will now be in pending request for the manager to view pending request. And so if I use the ALV to display all pending requests. So let me run the program. So that'll be zleave underscore. Yeah. So the program name is zleave pending list. Display this. So I execute this. So of course, I've also created other employees and other IDs that were generated by the number range of the SAP system. So this is the employee ID. The dates, that's the date of the leave, the starting date and the ending date, the type of the leave, right? The status. So these are all the status, the leave status. Of course, we still need to add the manager ID and the date of approval here. Yeah. So we can add the manager ID, or this should not even be here. So we'll have to edit this out, right? So the manager can view all pending requests. And let's see, the manager wants to approve the request that we just created. Remember, this was the last request ID that was created by employee ID 001, and it's pending. So let's go to the program where the manager will approve the request. And that is called zleave approve. Yeah, zleave approve. So we display this, execute this. So the manager ID that's going to approve this, let's say manager 001. So we have to, of course, there's going to be a value help here to give you suggestions of the required ID. So for now, I'm going to do a copy and paste to paste the last ID that was generated, which was 009. And then the decision, manager can either accept, which is A, or reject. So let's put R. Emergency leave should be accepted. Okay, so let's put A, accept, and then A to accept, then click on enter or execute. So you see here that the request was approved, right? Now, if we go to the employee, the request table, let me go to a new screen. SE11, the request table is, so this is the request table. And if we click on this and we execute, you'll see all the requests. So this was the last request that was created, this one. And you could see that the status here is approved by manager MG001. So of course, these other ones will fill it along the way as we build the project. And of course, the employee can also view his or her employee his or her leave history. Okay, so in that table, that program, let's open the program where the employee can view the history of his or her leave request. So to open the program, \n SE38, yeah, Z leave my requests, display this. Let's run this program. So employee ID or E001, of course, with value help, you don't need to be typing it. You just need to give you options of the employees in the system, which we are going to do later on in the project. So execute this. So you see, these are all the requests that the employee has placed at different time: the start time, the end time, the type of the leave, and the status. So 2 has been approved, 2 are still pending for approval. And of course, we can also use ALV to make this display more dynamic, and we can also use WebDime Pro to improve the graphical user interface. And yeah, so this is the project we are going to build so far, and in this first video we're going to create the first table, and as we progress I'll see how far we can go to complete as much as possible. So if you are interested in this project so far, don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, like, and also share to someone who wants to go into ABAP programming. Thank you to my viewers and to my new subscribers. So the first part, or the first step, is a database table creation. So we'll begin by using the S11 transaction code, that is the ABAP dictionary, and we are going to create 2 main database tables. So the first table is the employee table. So this stores all the employee details, like the employee ID, the name, the department, and the manager ID. And then we create the second table. So the second table is the leave request table. So this table is going to store all the leave requests, including the start date, when the leave will begin, the end date, the type of the leave. Okay, is it an annual leave? Is it a sick leave? Is it an emergency leave? And then we'll also look at also the status, approved and pending. Then of course the approver ID. So of course, when creating this, we need to also create data elements and domains for fields like the status and the leave type. So because if we need to create fixed values, then we need to create data elements and domains. Okay, so of course, I've created a video on how to create database tables. You can check the link will pop up on the screen, and also be in the description if you want to know more how to create database tables to be very proficient in this. And let's go ahead and create these 2 tables before we proceed. So this is the SAP Easy Access. When you log in to the system, you get to this welcome page. Right. Okay, so let's go to ABAP dictionary SE11, and we want to create the employee table. So I'm going to call it the Z employee. I'm going to give it this name. So of course, since it's a client system, you start it with the alphabet Z, and then I give it a unique ID. So we click on the create button because we want to create this database. So let's give it a short description. So we can see employee table. So delivery class, yeah, since it's a master data, we select A, and then the data browser or table viewing editing option, we're going to select display maintenance allowed, so that we are able to display the table or the data from this table, and we are also able to edit the table. Okay, so then we can save this, Ctrl S, save to a package. I already have a package created in the system. So if you want to know more on how to create package, please leave a comment in the comment section, and I will make a video on how to create a package. Save this to this package, and then the transport request. So let's see, create new requests, and then we can say employee leave management system. So we can save this. So this is a transport request, ends with 151. Confirm this, and we can save this. Save. Okay, so we can go to the technical settings and then select the data class. Since it's a master data, we select this first level, then we confirm, hit on enter, exiting, we save this. Okay, so we are here now. We need to add the fields of the table. Okay, so you click on fields, go to the edit mode or the display mode. So we're going to enter the fields of the table in this first column, right? So let's give it client ID first, and then client ID, we can say this is a primary key. The data element will be month. So if you hit on enter, this is an SAP generated client ID, and then we want to have the employee ID. So we can say employee ID is also a primary key, and the data element, we have to create our own data element here. Okay, so let's also fill in this part. Let's say department ID or the department, and then the manager ID. So for all this, I recommend you create a data element. Of course, we could use inbuilt data type, but it's better we use the data element. We create our own data element. Okay, so let's create the data element for this. So let's give it this name and say the data element for the employee ID will be ZZ employee ID underscore 25. I give it a unique ID. And because this does not exist, I need to create it. So to create it, let's double click on this. So do you want to save before exiting? Yes. So the data element does not exist. So let us create the data element by clicking on yes. Right now, what will be the short description for this? We can say employee ID, and then we need to have a domain for this. We can use inbuilt domain, the character, or we could create our own domain. So employee ID, we could just use inbuilt domain for this one, because the employee ID, we are not giving it any fixed values. So, but let's create our own domain anyway. Let's create our own domain. Let's see. So it's going to be a domain of character length 10. So let me give it this unique ID of 25. So of course this domain does not exist yet. So if I double click on this, we need to save. I'm trying to save the data element first. Save it to this transfer request 151 employee leave management system. We want to create the domain. So let's see, employee ID domain, and yeah, so we're gonna give it a data type. So let's select the character data type. So when you select the character data type, then confirm this. So what's going to be the length? Have the length of 10, number of characters to be 10, and if you click on enter, it will also give you an output length of 10, right? So we don't have any fixed value, so just save this, Ctrl S, or you can click on this. I save it to this package, my package, and then I also save it to the transport request. And always remember to, okay, let's first check if there are no, need to check that there are no inconsistencies. So you can see below here that no inconsistency found, and then we can activate. So this is a domain that I'm trying to create, so I only activate the domain, click on confirm, and you see below here object is activated, right? Okay, so let's head back. So you can see that the domain exists and we have successfully. Let's also activate this, let's also activate the data element, and okay, so first we Ctrl F2, or you click on this button to check consistencies. So you can see below no inconsistency found, then activate. This is the data element for the employee ID we created. So we save this. Yeah, So object is activated already, and then we can go back to our employee master table. So you see here that the short description is employee ID, the length is 10, the data type is character string. So we do the same thing for department. So for department, we could also do the same thing. Create data element, create domain. So for department, create data element, and then let's give it a name. So I'm not going to go through the same steps to do the same thing. So for the best learning effect, do this on your own. And if you get stuck, you can leave a comment in the comment section and say, hey, I got stuck here, how do I proceed? So I'm going to give you the data element name. And of course, you see the specification. So for department, it's going to be the data type will be character, and then length of 30. Description, you can say employee department or whatever. For the manager ID, it's also be data type of character and then length of 10. Okay, so do this, create a domain for it, create a data element for it. So the name of the data element that you are going to create, let's say ZZ department underscore 25. Then for the manager ID, we can say ZZ manager ID underscore 25. Okay, if you hit on enter, see that it is 000 because this does not exist yet. So you need to create them. Look at below here. It said the ZZ man ID underscore 25 is not active, so we have not created it. So that's what you're going to do. That's your assignments for best learning effect. And then after you have done that, come back and continue the video, or you can watch the video to the end to have a full glimpse of the whole project. Then you can start building it by yourself. Okay, so this is the first table, the employee let's say master table. So we have these fields: the client, the employee ID, the name, the department, the manager ID. And I believe you have also created this data element. Of course, I've added this name to it. I'll contain the employee name. Let's edit this to be employee name underscore 25. So do likewise with a length of 50. And so let's activate this table. Of course, you do consistency check. F2. Before that, you need to save the object. Oh, okay. We need to maintain the size category. We got an error that maintain size category for table employee 25. So let's go back. The size category is found in the technical settings. It's found in the technical settings. Click on technical settings. This is the size category over here. So you can click on F4. And then the size category is the number of records. So between 0 to 3600 will do just fine for this project. And we select this, select 0, confirm this, click on enter. Then we can save this. Yeah, so this is saved. If we go back to the table and we hit on Ctrl S, we save it, Ctrl F2 or this button right here to check. So now there are no inconsistency found. Then we can activate the table. So this is a table that we just created, employee table. So when we click on the activate, confirm this, and it says the object has been activated. Okay. Oh yeah, so there's something I skipped to do for the data element, and I also did it in my video on how to create database table, and that is field labels for the data element. So if you double click on this, you see that the field label here, they are all empty. So let's edit this, go to display mode, and so you could give a short description and say employee ID, and then medium you can say employee ID, and then long still employee ID, and heading also employee ID. So when you hit on enter, we can save this, save, check for consistencies, no inconsistency found, activate. So we activate the data element once more. Then we can do likewise for the other data elements, display mode. So this is employee name. See, for the short employee name, the long employee name, employee name. So hit on enter, then Control F2. Before that, we need to save actually. Then Control F2 and then Control F3 to activate all this button here. So confirm this here. Okay, so this is active. You can see here the status of the object, that this is in active mode. So when you need to use this table or you need to use this data element, you have access to it. So if you do not activate, you will not have access to it. Okay, so likewise do the same for the other two data elements that was created. Yeah, so with that done, our employee table is now created. Of course, we can test this by going to SE16N. We can add to the table to create the data for the employees. We could create a table maintenance generator. I've made a video on how to create a maintenance generator, and table maintenance generator will help you to maintain your data, your table, edit, delete simultaneously multiple records at the same time. So it's more convenient than the SE16N. So a link will be in the description, and also it will pop up on how to create the table maintenance generator. Please have a look at the video. And another way to add records to the table that we just created is to use the SE11 or the SE16, the table display. Okay, see you in the next video. Oh, let's go to SE16 \n SE16. Yeah, so this is a table name. We click on create entries, employee ID. So let's say E001, name of employer, let's say Victor Ibichola, department, let's say receive, manager ID MG001. Click on enter. Says here database record was successfully created. So let's go back. Let's see to view the table contents. F7, click on the execute here. So we have this created. So ZZ employee 20_25, we have one record created, but you can see that we've added the first data using SE16, and of course you can also use here, you can click on create to add more. So employee ID, we can say E002, we can say Lincoln Burrows, and then department transport. Okay, department should be longer. We need to extend this. And the manager ID, we can say manager 002. Click on enter and then save. So you see below here, database record was successfully created. So use this to add as many employee as much as possible. And so I would like to pause here for today, and tomorrow or in a few days I will make the next table. So if you go back, you can see that the two records that we created, right? So we have two employees with employee ID, their names, the department, and the manager ID. So add as many records as possible to your table. And when next we come back, we'll do the other table, which is the leave request table.